Okay, so my name is Thomas Engberts. I'm 29 years old. I'm a physical therapist. They know me around here as the IjuryFixer. And so that's basically what I do, fix people's injuries and improve performance at the same time. I've been in Phuket for a year now, but in Thailand for 7 years altogether. Up. Up. Last one. Marcio contacted me because he had a knee injury, and then he asked me to have a look at it, and we found some weaknesses and some things that he needed to work on. So I started working together with Marcio. First it was pure physical therapy, just rehab, but then as he got stronger, then we started talking about actually training the whole body, not just the knee, and that's what we're doing now. Basically my main thing is fixing injuries, also starting up some other companies with some food supplements and stuff like that, but the main thing at this point is the injury fixing and sports performance training. We'll go up to 65. Last time we did, last time was 55, right? So now 60. Yep. Working in January and it's August today, so almost about 6 months. I think the biggest mistake that Marcio was making, and a lot of fighters, even a lot of UFC guys, I see the same thing, is they're very strong in their chest, the shoulders and triceps from all the punching, and the lats also from the grappling, like doing all these kind of movements. But the muscles in the back of the shoulder that actually rotate your shoulder outwards, they are never trained, not in the fighting, but also in the gym. Most guys do bench press, push-ups, a lot of stuff like that, and thereby kind of neglecting those upper back muscles. And they are really what provides that base of stability in your upper body. Same thing in your hips. Guys, their quadriceps are really strong. The inside of, especially with the jiu-jitsu guys like Marcio, the inside of legs are very strong, but the hip muscles that rotate the hips outwards, they are rarely ever trained, and that kind of leads to some imbalances and instability, and that's actually why Marcio's knee got hurt, just because certain muscles were stronger than others and just put his knee in the wrong position, and we worked on that, and that's how we fixed his knee pain. Hold it. 4, good. 5, good. It's getting harder. Those upper back muscles, for example, when they're weak but they're still being pulled on all the time, then what happens is they actually tighten up and contract in order to still provide some stability. However, when a muscle is tight like that, the blood cannot go through the muscle properly, and then it kind of starts to starve in a way, and that's when you start to get aches and pains in the upper back and the shoulders. And another thing, the main job of those muscles is to keep your shoulder and your shoulder blade in the right place, keep the shoulder in the socket. But when they're tight and when they're weak like that, they cannot do that properly. So you're much more risk of actually dislocating your shoulder, or just getting all kinds of minor little injuries and aches and pains. It's a one-arm dumbbell row, a very common exercise. The way we do it is pull it fast, expose it, then holding it at the top for a second. So obviously with mixed martial arts, it's important to be able to hold the position, not just create the movement once and then let go. So for any kind of chokes and stuff like that, building up that strength. And I've got many clients, they're not all fighters, also just here in Phuket there's many people coming in to train for fighting, for fitness, and of course a lot of them get injured, and then they come to me. Basically, it's not even though it might be new in the in the modern world, it's really just an old age concept. You know, in the early 1900s, the strongmen, they were already working on that, and it's basically you cannot shoot a cannon out of a canoe. So if you don't have a stable base of muscle to work from in your midsection, but also your hips, your shoulders, everything, then you won't be able to put out as much power in your movements. Plus, it's much more likely that the joint will kind of get unstable, get out of its socket, and your body, if it feels that, it will just shut everything down and decrease your performance, just to prevent you from from getting hurt. So even though, yeah, you hear more about it now, but it's really just how the body works. You know, like you need stability before mobility. Because if you only stretch but don't work on the stability and creating strength and stiffness in the joints in a good way, then you're going to be really loose and flabby, but you won't have much. You won't be bulletproof against any injuries. And accelerate the hips. Good. Hips. Good. So as you guys can see, every set we're adding a little bit of weight. So we're progressively going heavier, get more warmed up, get the nervous system fired up. We'll go heavier and heavier. However, we're not going to go to an all-out max because obviously Marcio is a fighter, not a weightlifter. So whereas if the only thing you do is lifting weights, then it's okay to go balls out and really go heavy. But because his main job is actually to fight, this training is just to add to his fighting training, not take it away from it, take anything away from it. So that's why we're going heavy, but not to the maximum. I mean, speed comes from a couple of different things. It's your nervous system, so how quickly your brain can send a signal to your muscle to fire. Part of that is purely genetic. You know, some people they're just born faster than others, but it can be trained also. But you have to train the right way. So while before we talked about the stability and teaching the muscles to keep everything in place, you also want to train for power, and that's like. If you train for a bodybuilder, like a bodybuilder trains, so you do slow repetitions with constant tension, that's a great way to build up muscle mass. But you teach your muscle to contract slowly. Whereas if you train more like an athlete, for example, if you take some things from Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, and of course track and field, sprinting, jumping, all of that kind of stuff, then you teach your muscles to fire quick, be quick, react quick. And that's how you can improve your quickness as well. But a big part of it is just genetics, you know. So some people, they're just naturally slower, but maybe stronger, so they have an advantage there. And on the other side, you got people who are very fast, but they don't have any power behind them, any strength behind them. That's also not optimal. So if you're already a fast guy, it's actually quite easy to get stronger. If you're already a strong guy, then you got to work more on speed and power development. So in your training, in your fighting, focus on the fighting. In the gym, don't be too aggressive here. Leave that for your training on the mat, in the ring, whatever you do. But in gym, focus on your weak points. So like we said before, if you're fast but not very strong, okay, then you got to do the big basic movements and just focus on strength. If you're already very strong, then you don't need to deadlift 200 kilos every week, you know, because your main job is to be a fighter. So focus on that and save your energy in the gym. You still want to do strength stuff, but also focus on those muscles that aren't strong, but that keep your joints healthy, keep your joints in the right place. Because ultimately, as an athlete, it's not about how strong you are or how fast you are, but it's how long you can stay in your career in the long term. You know, because there's a lot of athletes that do great for a couple of years, but then the injuries start happening, and then they have to retire, maybe at 25 years old already, or 30 years old. But to really have a good career and become a champion, you need to have that long time of staying healthy and staying strong. So that's what you need to do.
Yes, because he's 21-year-old. He's my student in Brazil. Black belt.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. He's my student.